Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning, mother fathers. Well, happy Phillies Thursday. Are you kidding me? It's just one of the most unbelievable runs every night. This is every night. This is like the greatest thing in the world is to come in and hang out and talk about another win. It's unbelievable. The Anthony Gargano Show, brought to you by Bet Parks. That's right. The Bet Parks Sportsbook Casino app and, of course, the Parks Casino in Bed Salem. All right. Dude, Phillies fever. Are you kidding me? So we've reached I love doing this every day. We've reached now the 50-game mark. And they have the best record since the 2001 Seattle Mariners. So the Phillies are 36-14. Seattle was 38-12. So they have the best record since the 2001 Mariners. And if you remember, the 2001 Mariners, we've been talking about it, they won 116 games, right? They won the franchise record 116 games. Now, I want to get to Topper in a minute and what Topper said about that, which I loved, and everybody should love what Rob Thompson said about this. However, I do think that's a great feat. Like, look, the randomness of the MLB playoffs, I talk about regularly on the show. So I understand that. You can't fast forward the season and go right to October, right? You can only do how many, you can only roll through the season. And let's just roll through the season. But I mean, listen, this is unbelievable. Every night, last night, they get 11. It was funny. We all said it too. Take the over, take the over. They're going to roll through the over. You knew it. Like, you just absolutely knew that, they would, actually both teams would, right? Because Texas scores first. And then the Fighters come roaring back. JT, home run. Edmundo, home run. Bryce bomb. Boom. 2 more ribbies. NL best, 46 on the season. It's absurd. In fact, last night, Violations Greg sent me a text. He's like, dude, Phillies, this whole thing's wild. It's absurd. And I'm like, yeah, it's wild. The because we quantify baseball with numbers, the numbers just explode at you. It's like in the movie A Beautiful Mind, where all you see is like numbers, right? And that's kind of what this Phillies team is doing to us all. They're just amazing. They've now won 5 in a row, all right? They have won 17 of 20. They have won 17 of 19 at Citizens Bank Park. Are you kidding me? 17 of their last 19 at CBP. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just one after another. I'm looking at all the numbers. I mean, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. They're the 26th team in the history of baseball to have won 36 games to win 36 of their first 50. I mean, the little nuggets and notes just come flush it out. When you cover baseball, the team gives you these things. They're called notes, game notes. And in the game, though, it's all these streaks and it's all baseball by the numbers. And these are just absurd, every one of them. So last night, Strahm gets the win. How about what Matt Strahm has done? 20 and 2/3 innings. He's only allowed 2 runs, 13 hits. He struck out 30, and he's walked only 2. What? The Stromboli is just dealing. Like, we talk about the starters, all right? Look at what Strom's doing. It's funny. We are so crazed here at all PHLY and everywhere. The whole town's filling up. But one of the things that's hysterical, the first thing that Andrew, our producer, says to me, dude, what are we going to do with Taiwan? And the funny thing is that Walker, I mean, listen, he's a bad matchup against that team. Like, that team can hit, and he's not a good matchup. I like Turnbull better than Taiwan. I think Turnbull. Now, the problem with Turnbull is he's not good in the bullpen, and you can't put him in with runners on. Like, they're not wired that way. Turnbull's a starter. Taiwan's a starter. But the beauty of it all is it doesn't really matter. You're basically stashing Turnbull in case Walker blows up. He's not fully blown up on you. So in case Taiwan blows up and you have to take him out of rotation, you got Turnbull there. So, like, they're just positioned in an incredible way going forward with pitching depth, with the bats, and it's unbelievable. So we're going to get to the 2001 Mariners. But this is what Topper said after the game when it was brought up. This is awesome. You got to keep going. You got to keep grinding. You got to keep pushing. I freaking love it. We love it. Now, I will say, 116, no matter what happened in the playoffs, pretty wild. So I started to look at it like, all right, well, let's go into the 01 Mariners. So this was their starting lineup. Now, of all of us, the only one who will remember any of these players is Greg, right? Violet's Greg, because 2 of us are the old heads here. All right, Andrew and JP won't remember these names. Dan Wilson was the catcher. John Olerud, first base. Brett Boone at second. Carlos Guillen at short. David Bell at third. Al Martin in left. Mike Cameron in center. Ichiro was in right. And the DH was Edgar Martinez, who was a hell of a player. Like, I'm just looking at that lineup going, how the freak did that lineup win 116 games? And then you look at their pitching staff and you go, what's their pitching staff? So Freddie Garcia, Fat Freddie Garcia, 18-6. Aaron Seeley, 15-5. Paul Abbott, 17-4. John Halama, 10-7. Now, if you collect baseball cards, you'll know these names because they're all the bad cards you get constantly. And then the leader of the rotation was an old friend, Jamie Moyer, was 20-6 in 2001. And I look at that team that won 116 games, and then I look at this Phillies team and this Phillies lineup, and I go, oh my. Like, they could actually break that record. And quite frankly, I think I want it. I want the record. I want to go down in history. Like, they're 50 games in, And I say, go for it, man. Like, I know it's about the playoffs, the World Series, and the parade. But again, that's when it gets here, it gets here. And you can focus on it. But for now, I put the big bullseye on Jamie Moyer and the 0-1 Mariners. We're coming to get you. Coming to get you. Well, Griffey had to be on that team, no? Is Griffey not on that team? No, I'm looking. I went and looked up the roster. Junior had to be on that team. How the hell did they win 116 games? Was he in Cincinnati already? That's crazy. Well, I'll look it up. Good morning, JP.
Buenos dias, cuz.
What do you say, buddy?
How can I not do well at how the Phillies have been playing? And to your point, so yes, Ken Griffey Jr. was in Cincinnati. He got there in 2000. He was in Seattle for 10 years, 89 to 99.
0-1, no, because I'm looking. I went through their lineup. I'm like, wait a second, there's no Junior. How'd this team win 116 games?
That was impressive. That was truly impressive. I mean, if they would have had Ken Griffey Jr., maybe they would have won it all. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, that's true. By the way, that was Poppin Off. Always Ollie Pop. Right? We love it. The soda that's good for you. Ollie Pop. Find your favorite Ollie Pop flavor at your nearest Wawa.
And the Phillies are popping off, cuz.
They're popping off for the big one. It's funny because VG sent me a text about it, and he's like, dude, Phillies, ridiculous. Like, and I'm like, yes. I'm watching the game, and it's late, and it's a laugher, and I want to turn on the basketball game. Right? But I can't turn the channel. Like, I know they won, and I can follow the rest of my phone.
It was fun.
But I can't change the channel to the basketball game because I just want to see it. So I watched to the end, even though I know it's 11-4, right?
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm going, this is such a joy. Let McCarthy, Rube, you're watching them and you're going, this is amazing. Well, I'm so excited today because at 10, LA. I love Larry Anderson. So LA is going to join us today at 10.
Sure, he's giddy too.
Listen, the 93 season, how great it is. So LA is going to speak to all that stuff. I cannot wait to talk to LA.
You're 100% right. Like, I remember, you look at Philly sports, right, as a whole. I look back at, the 2022 Birds and the 2017 Birds. Like, they blew out some teams, right? And I watch it all the way through, even if it's 30 to 15, whatever may be the score, because you're just engulfed in what this team is doing. You're just having fun. You're enjoying the ride. And this Phillies team, cuz it's so much fun to watch.
We got that. I like that.
It's Powder Blue Thursday.
Yeah,
hopefully we do get the games. It's supposed to be ending here by the time the show's end. So
they're going to play. It's fine. Yeah.
So we got to wear the powder blue here. But no, last night was freaking awesome again. And because you continuously hear all these pundits and fans talk about the strength of schedule. Look, Texas Rangers.
Who's saying that?
Because it's all over Twitter.
That's why you got to stop. Listen.
Say all the internet.
No, but that's why you got to not pay attention to nonsense.
Yeah, but
that's nonsense. Who in your right mind? It's baseball. There's a handful of teams. You're not playing the Dodgers every night. That's what it is.
But you just gotta let them talk, because the fact is, last night, the thing is too, it's 162 of these bad boys that you're playing. It's not easy to play at that same level. They were down 2-0. They weren't phased, and they came back and they stomped on the Texas Rangers. Well, it reminds
me of in 07, 08. In 08, they raked, right? So in 08, you sat there and they would be down 2-0. If they gave up 2 runs in the first, they come back out with 3 in the bottom of the inning, just like they did last night, and they tied it, right? But that was the mark of what they did. They just were raking like it was Jimmy, Victorino, Utley, right? Boom, boom, boom. And next thing you know, Peace with a 2-run double, right? That's kind of how it was. And this team's the same way. This team's and you're still waiting on Turner.
Yeah. That's the crazy part about it.
Sosa.
And it feels like
I know Sosa.
Feels like every night we got bases loaded as well. You had it again last night. They were able to bring in a couple runs there.
Look, Mr. Sosa.
You got it. Oh, my boy Oscar Bujan, who does the Spanish. We got to listen to him later, cuz he put on Twitter the Edmundo Sosa home run, it got me up and going.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love his calls. He's freaking awesome on the Spanish calls. But even Edmundo Sosa's even getting a piece of the pie.
No, dude,
like
he's
everybody.
He's still, yes, he contributes all the time.
Great bench piece, by the way.
Yes.
Sosa.
Yes.
Great glove. He gets you some nice hits here and there. He's been a solid bench piece. But that's what we've talked about. We always bring up Boa's interview, but everyone is stepping up in a big way.
Yeah, and listen, I love what Topper said. Like, that was a great
We didn't even
quote.
give him his credit.
Yes, you listen. Let me give you props. Like, you right away, the first thing you say is, "Got to give Topper love." Yeah, Topper keeps those guys in order. I'm like, yeah, like I mean, do I believe I can manage that team? I do, but listen, you're
They
right.
have some fun with you as a manager.
They're right. Like, they're he's not. Listen, he's a veteran guy. Like, the one thing, this is a perfect team for Topper.
Oh, for sure.
Because all he's got to do is just,
Just let them
manage it, right?
Yeah.
Write the lineup out, see who needs off days, right? Like JT, you need an off day or you hit a home run, you want to go back on the lineup, just got to manage it.
And the thing is, like, he doesn't have to he doesn't have to do the rah-rah thing, right? Like, these guys want
baseball's
to win.
Yeah. Well, baseball's not a rah-rah thing either.
But these guys want to win on an every night basis. Like, these guys are they want that W on every single game. And for Topper, it's very simple. Like, it's just giving them that even like that presser we just showed, like that sudden reminder. Like, hey, okay, the Seattle Mariners, they did 116, right? We're on that same pace. But what did they do at the end? We are trying to surpass that. We are trying to win that championship. And every single night, even like the Texas Rangers coming to town. And although we all know the Texas Rangers are not the same team as last year, but hey, they got that belt, cuz. You want to beat them. You want to beat the reigning World Series champions.
Of course you do.
Give them that slight little message.
You're right on, buddy. You're right on. I will say this. The guy that really needs all the credit in the world is DD. DD.
Dumbo.
Listen.
Dumbo Kush.
Dave Dombrowski has put together a roster, and the moves that he's done, like, he deserves a lion's share of seeing it, because the Nola piece was a big deal, and people were like, like, we talked about it yesterday, I think it was, where it was like status quo, and status quo was important, right? Just a minor tweak was a big deal. And then you look at this rotation, and I think he deserves a ton of credit.
I always give him credit for reshaping that bullpen because I mean, I don't know if anyone remembers.
Dude, what about Strom? Are you kidding me?
That's the
Stromboli.
He's killing it.
Look at this.
Read it again, cuz.
20 2/3 innings, 13 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 30 strikeouts. What?
Jose Alvarado's been a
Can you grow your hair
job.
like that?
Oh, I can't, cuz.
Me neither.
Unfortunately, I get that. I get like Taywan's hair.
Me too.
Yeah,
I get the same thing. Grows up.
Yeah, that's pretty much what
my
happens.
guy get the high hair. I can't grow.
Well, we saw Anthony Jr.
Greg has hair like that. And Fred, you could do it too, Andrew.
Frazier, you got to grow the lettuce, bro.
Yeah, you got the Strom
I could
hair.
grow it that long.
Yeah, you got that Strom, that Joe Dirt type of hair.
Joe Dirt.
Right? You got that.
Man.
You can
I don't
roll
know if
that
that's a
hair.
compliment or if that's
Yeah, it's a compliment. You can roll. I can't. My hair gets bushy, right? It's like a weed. It grows up.
The
I
Dr.
know
J
you're like
fro.
me. Yeah, you're like me. You have the same kind.
Oh, I
of
mean, I
hair.
saw Anthony Jr.'s hair. And I was like, all right, kid's got the same thing as us.
Yeah, we got the hair. I always wanted to have it like the long hair.
I did it
But
at one point.
You were able to get it down?
No, it was. And I figured that's when. I tried like 5th grade. I tried to grow it out like all my buddies, and then like I just realized it was going up instead of down. So
yeah.
I gotta cut that
Exactly.
off.
The Strom, man. The Strom has been just remarkable.
Yeah, but cuz like, do you remember how bad this bullpen was like 4 years ago?
Yeah,
And
dude,
Dumbo's done.
I remember.
It was historically
It
bad.
was during the Classic. We did
The Irvins of the world.
dude. We used to do I got Matt Cord to do an intro like the Bulls. In fact, they got mad because I did the whole thing. The Poison or the Pig Pen. I was calling it the Pig Pen dance. And it was like, let's go into the big pig pen. Irvin. Right? Like, he was
so
horrible.
bad.
Cole Irvin. Cole Irvin would throw it like 68 miles an hour. Massimo throws harder than Cole Irvin. I was like, oh my God, this pen sucks.
Who was that? Was it Tommy Hunter, the guy we spent money on?
Yes.
It was.
Sorry, it wasn't good enough. Punk.
He had
Oh my
such bad
God.
arms those days, cuz.
They were horrible.
And Dumbo just came in and like he listened, a lot of trial and error for
Dumbo thing.
Dumbo, man. He's my boy. My boy. We talk.
I can't do the
shop.
Dumbo. I go, Dave.
I think it's a journalist in you.
Sounds like Dumbo.
Yeah, right. It does. Maybe that's what it is. But listen, with you're my man. So.
We love the Dumbo here. He's doing a great job. Built such a great team. I always told you before, like after 21, when you lose the final series, the second to final series against the Braves, that final interview, Bryce was talking about it. You need young dogs in this team. And then Topper comes in middle of the season next year. He starts giving a lot of these kids chances. I remember that first weekend against the Angels, Topper's first weekend.
Yes.
Bryson Stott, walk-off home run. And you're seeing what's happened with Alec Boehm. You trade for Brandon Marsh. And this daycare has been a big part of it as well. And I think a lot of it has to do with Dumbo just giving the resources to this team.
No, dude, it's been awesome. It really has. It's been fantastic. So LA is going to join us.
Oh, I can't wait.
I was just looking up our win totals because the brain is going to come up. We're going to go. We've been doing our NFL win totals in the daily grind. He's coming up next. We had the flop. He's going to do a little earlier today. So we have Zach Berman reporting on the OTAs.
Yeah.
The OTAs. Yeah. You know what I was doing? I was looking at college football playoff schedules.
I'm pretty excited for college football. I haven't been in a minute, but I'm actually pretty excited. Well, you brought up the playoff schedule and then NCAA football coming out. I mean, it's exciting time right now.
No, we have in our studio. We should show you one day. One day we'll do the show in the middle of the studio.
Yeah.
In the middle of our whole operation here at PHLY, because we have a couple gaming systems. Right, we have the old school video games, and we have a gaming system, which we got to get the college football.
Oh yeah, Andrew loves challenging me in FIFA every day on the Xbox.
Reigning champ right here, man.
Yeah.
Are you better than
I'm the best gamer in the whole
Chris
building. Oh yeah.
So
Don't tell
Chris,
him
who does all of our social media and helps, he's terrific. All of our content, Chris Frezza. He's always on the MMA game.
Yeah, he loves the UFC.
In FIFA, yes, I reign supreme.
Do you?
But when it comes to Madden, I think Chris has the edge on me.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'll say that. I'll give it to him.
I got to bone up so I can go up against Massimo.
There you go.
That's my kid.
Yeah, Massimo's
We'll
probably
toughen you up.
My ass. Yeah.
Iron versus iron. We'll sharpen you up.
Yeah. Yes. I like the FIFA.
FIFA's so much
FIFA,
fun.
but the college football looks ridiculous.
Because when I was a kid, I used to do like the actual tournaments, like NCAA basketball, but for football. So I would do like summers. That was my summers. I'd write on paper every bracket. Like I would even go the MAC, all the way to the MAC. That's
Dude, I love you.
That's how nerdy I was.
I love that.
Yeah,
I might
have to bring it in because I still think
yes.
I think it's in my childhood room. I still have those papers. It's like a huge packet. Of like,
dude, that's the greatest.
Yeah,
I
had so much fun with it.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm excited it's back.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
All
right, we got lots to do. So we got Zach Berman. Does a great job covering the birds for PHLY. Will join us in about 20 minutes. The brain next. And then we got LA at 10 o'clock to go Phillies crazy. So, and then, of course, the Clubhouse. Lots to get to as we hang out on a Thursday. Man, this week's flying by. Memorial Day weekend. Don't forget, tomorrow is the Shore Show tomorrow. And we want to hear from you, too, tomorrow. Because tomorrow we're going to do the Shore 5. What's the best shore town? What's the best shore treats? We'll do it all. So we want you guys to hang out with us tomorrow. It's going to be like kind of a festive kickoff of summer 2024. We're going to have a lot of fun with that stuff. Let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook Casino app. What I'd say yesterday, over Phillies team total, right? It was 5.5. How about you doubled it with 11? Are you kidding me? You got to download. This is a way to have some fun during the baseball season, right? Download the Bet Park Sportsbook app, all right? Tell them I told you to do it. And check out every day the Phillies line and have some fun with it. Some days it's going to be about overs, right? Over team totals, right? You can do same game parlays, wins. You can lay runs, lay -1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. You'll see it. You can toggle it. It's fun, a lot of fun. So it's a fun way to enjoy this incredible team and have some fun. You throw $5 on and see if you can build up a kitty. It is terrific. And don't forget, when it comes to the sportsbook app, like you got, in-game stuff. So last night, Dallas, I told the brain I like the Mavs. If you go live, you would have catch them at plus money. So much fun, man. The Bet Parks Sportsbook Casino app. And, you're watching a game, you're bored, you want to play some blackjack live dealer right on your phone. You got that as well. The casino games are terrific, all the slots you want. And, of course, if you get a chance, you got to get to Parks Casino in Ben Salem. All the best entertainment, dining, the casino floor with all the slots and the gaming tables. Tremendous. The poker room, the sports book. It's uncomparable. The best casino in all of Pennsylvania. So check out Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem, or the Bet Parks Sportsbook Casino app. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. You got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, Ohio. And let me tell you about TrueMark. Let's talk about TrueMark Financial Credit Union. So I had no idea about the credit union difference. Everybody, I've been talking about it, right? People have been saying it. You got to check out the difference for the TrueMark Financial Credit Union. And they had me with local because their headquarters is in Fort Washington. They have 24 branches across the area. I'm like, all right, that's a big deal. They are big in the community, small business. They're great with financial goals and kids, and that's not my bailiwick, right? So it's great to have a resource like TrueMark Financial. I went up there, in fact, to Ben Salem to talk to them and open up an account. You got to be the beauty of what I love about it is when you're with a credit union, you're a part owner, and that means profits come back to you instead of going to shareholders. You get better rates, you get lower fees, right? You get a better return on your savings, and you get more flexible options. And the beauty is, the one thing I was a little unsure of is the tech. Do you have all the app and all the financial tools and the ease of the financial tech? And they have it, all right? They have all the digital tools that you need when it comes to banking. It's the best. Becoming a member of a credit union, so many benefits. You got to check it out. Head over to TrueMark.com/PHLY to learn more, to find a branch near you. That's TrueMark.com/PHLY, federally insured by the NCUA. All right. Let's have some fun. All right. And now, what do we got? The brain.
Brain. Red, the brain finder.
Brain! Good morning, Brain.
How
What do
are
you
you today,
say,
my friend?
buddy?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. How about those Phillies, dude?
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said, how about those Phillies?
I mean, Anthony, it's unbelievable. I mean, they're winning at a level it's just crazy. Now, I understand. It's kind of annoying me. Some people are like, oh, they haven't beaten any winning teams or whatever. Well, first of all, you're going to tell me Texas isn't a good team? They won the freaking World Series, and you play who you play, and the record they put up and the way they've been playing has been absolutely sensational. This has been the best stretch probably since the Ryan Howard, Chase Utley days. For sure, and even them, the year they won 102 games, I thought was their best team that they lost to St. Louis, that game 5, 1-0. But I think this team is just playing incredible. There's nothing more you can say.
No, it's funny. Every night, you just go, I think that's an over. We were talking about it yesterday about Dunning, and I'm like, they're gonna. I think I said to you, I'm like, dude, they're gonna rake. And sure enough,
guy like that.
Sosa, JT, Bryce, right? They just rolled through that Texas pitching staff, which is beleaguered.
100%. And listen, it's such a big advantage, Anthony, to hopefully not have to be in that wild card, right? Let the Braves have to play in that best of three, because I'm saying, Anthony, and I keep saying it, baseball's the one sport where if you are the better team, which clearly the Phillies right now seem to be the best team, but it's the one sport where being the better team really doesn't help you that much. So they need, in my opinion, really, it's of paramount importance to win that division, not have to play that best of three where randomness can just get you. You got I know they're not going to make the playoffs, this team, but I'm just using this as an example for a team that people would say they stink, right? But if a team like Pittsburgh somehow in a million years made the playoffs and they had to face Jared Jones and Paul Skeens in a best of three, they could lose.
Right. No, and that's why when people talk about the October, it's like you can't. Just enjoy this season. Like, this is an amazing season. Enjoy the season. And when October comes, we'll look at the matchups and everything else. But, like, that's the one sport where the playoffs are a completely different beast. And we've learned the lesson here the last 2 years with the Braves, right? They were the best team the last 2 years. And in 2011, the Phillies were the best team.
Well, Anthony, not only that, we learned it both ways. And let me hear what I'm saying by that is, look, I'm going to say the last 2 years, and I'm just being fair. I mean, the Braves won a lot more games than the Phillies. They theoretically were the better team. Phillies beat them both times. Last year, the Phillies were substantially better than Arizona. Substantially. And they lost, right? So, I mean, it goes both ways. Again, now the Phillies, and I got to tell you this, and again, just real quick, I know we talk about, they had the Kay Kimball thing, which to me cost them off track a little bit, but the Baltimore Orioles have a really good team this year, Anthony, and they still, I don't know what they're doing with their closer. You don't have a good closer, you see what can happen. And I do think that that's something that we'll see if there's a good closer is available, but I think that's something to monitor for Baltimore, a team that's having a great year that doesn't have an end of the arm bullpen, which the Phillies really didn't have last year, and that was their downfall.
All right, couple things, and then we got to get to our win totals that we started yesterday.
Yes.
Dallas. I knew Dallas. I told you yesterday. Listen, they're a tough matchup, and guess what? They didn't hit any threes.
No,
right? If some of those threes would have fell earlier, they would have won by double digits.
The game was at halftime, and I did bet, not a big bet, but I did bet Dallas getting 2-1. I thought Dallas was going to win at halftime. Before the game, I thought Minnesota would win. Dallas, I thought, played one of the best. I thought they didn't make any shots from three, like you said, but I thought their defense was sensational. I thought they played. And it's funny. I had Kyrie Irving over in points against OKC, like back-to-back games. He went under. Then last night he goes off crazy. Although he did say that OKC matchup was the toughest playoff series he's ever been in. But Dallas is really tough. Again, I will stand by this. I think both these teams are better than Boston. I really do. And that will be one of my bigger bets of the year is the NBA Finals, because both these teams will be getting massive odds, Anthony, against Boston. And I don't think Boston's all that in a bag of chips. I really don't.
Yeah, it'll be it's going to be fun to watch. Luka, I love Luka. I do. I as much, and I've been enjoying the series. I like Anthony Edwards. And watching Luka just come alive.
That shot he hit, Anthony, where they were down 4 with 2 minutes to go. They were down
ridiculous.
4 with 2 minutes to go. He hits. They miss a shot. They get the rebound. He hits this shot with Edwards in his face.
Yep.
It just made it look so easy to cut it to 1. Made it like 102, 101. It was 102.98 at the time.
Yeah,
just such a phenomenal shot.
Was beyond the left arc. And
exactly, beyond left arc. And he made it look like he was in a Sunday afternoon just relaxing, shooting threes. And I'm like, it's amazing how great these top line NBA players are. It's incredible. It's fun to watch. He's he's phenomenal. He is absolutely phenomenal.
It is.
Love watching him.
Brought to you by, it's The Grind with the Brain, brought to you by the Bet Park Sportsbook Casino app. All right, let's get to our win totals, buddy.
Yeah.
So we'll pick it up with the Packers, 9.5. I go all day with the Packers. I'm a believer.
I'm going to play this one a little bit both ways. I bet under 10.5 because I thought the number should have been 10. Now it's 9.5. So Listen, again, I bet under 10.5 because I thought it was a little too high. I think 9.5 numbers a little too low. I think numbers closer to 10. So yeah, I see it 9.5. And like what you said, look, they have a really good young team, Green Bay. They've really done a good job to me of turning that roster over since they lose Aaron Rodgers. And Love, yeah, look, he looked really good last year. One thing I didn't love, and I'm curious your take on it, Anthony, they let Aaron Jones go, who I always injury prone. I get it. But for Josh Jacobs, who had that one great year 2 years ago, last year he's one of the worst, least efficient backs in the league, paid Jacobs a hell of a lot more money than Jones got. I didn't necessarily love that move. They have good young receivers.
The Raiders had a horrific offensive line.
Yeah. No, but you know what? But Zamir White with that same offensive line played way better. So I'm just saying. I'm gonna.
The year was garbage time.
Fair points. But look, Green Bay to me is a good team. I would be lean to the over at 9.5, Anthony, but I actually bet under 10.5. But I think the right number is 10.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's going to come down to the quarterback and whether you buy the quarterback. And I buy Love.
Yeah, I buy Love.
And he's got those skill people all over the place. So you got to explain this to me.
Yeah.
So the Texans are 9.5. I know the juice is a lot, but how are they 9.5?
I bet the Texans over 9.5, Anthony. Listen, again, like to me, I look at that team. Look, it's like you talk about the quarterbacks. Well, I'm buying C.J. Stroud despite the college he went to, my friend. But I think he's
not 10.5.
I agree with you. No, it's funny. Like Anthony, I compare that trade they made with Buffalo, right? Before the Diggs trade, I'm like, I kind of think Texans are a little bit better than Buffalo. And then the over was 10.5, 9.5. Then they take off their top receiver, add him to the other team. I just compare those two, and I'm like, why is one team's over under one game higher than the other? I don't get it. I agree with you. I did bet over 9.5. I think they're the clear favorite to win the division, Anthony. And again, I'll be surprised / disappointed if they don't win double-digit games.
That one was mystifying to me because I love the over for the Texans. Colts 8.5. This is interesting because it's a good number. It's a tough call because you don't know about the quarterback, right? Like we saw decent things from him, then he gets hurt early, So I don't know how to read it. I buy Steichen. There's a lot of uncertainty around that team.
It's funny. I really do enjoy talking to you, because it's funny. A lot of the things you always say is that's how my brain operates, and I agree. It's a tough one. It's a fun one to look at because you just really don't know. I mean, obviously, look, Pittman's a good receiver. Taylor's a good running back. He showed flashes, right? In the 2 games he played, he showed flashes. I like the head coach. Slightest of slight leans, maybe to the over, but I can't bet this. I just can't do it. Can't bet it either way.
And another interesting one, I love the quarterback, right? I love the quarterback, but he's not played well.
Trevor?
Yes. Jacksonville, 8.5. And, Dougie's on the hot seat here.
Yes, this is his last year.
This is the year for Dougie or he's out.
Yeah, I actually think that's fair. I actually did play, and it's funny, maybe having a little bit buyer's remorse. I did bet Jacksonville over 8.5. I did play that. Not quite as sure if it's the right, if I just forced that a little bit because I like the quarterback, like you said, even though he hasn't played that well. I just think they have some good players. I made the number closer to a little over 9. Okay, I think I had like 9.2 in my numbers. So
I like their roster. I do. I look at them. I go, all right, but I mean they were bad last year. Like they were.
Yeah, and they lost. They did lose. What's his name? The guy from Alabama. What's his name? Help me out here. The guy who gambled. Calvin Ridley. They did lose Calvin Ridley, which obviously isn't help. They got Gabe Davis. I do see that as a downgrade, Anthony, out of that too. ETN's a good back. Again, it comes down. Listen, they had a lot of.
ATN was weird last year because there were games like he didn't get any carries. The production was down. I'll be honest with you, Dougie did not do well last year. Like I love the guy, right? But like
I know that
he's got a like this is a big deal for him. This year,
this is a referendum year, Anthony. Yeah. This is an election year, so to speak. This is an election year, right? Like if he does not get it done this year, He will not be invited back, in my opinion. I'm with you. I did bet this over for everyone watching, but the little now maybe not as high on it as I once was. It's more, more of a lean probably now for me.
This is a great one. KC, 11.5.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious what your thoughts are. I didn't bet it, but I do have a lean.
You have a lean? You lean under?
I lean under. I
know you would.
And
yeah.
look, this team beats me for a living. Like one of my tombstone that's like fading the Chiefs. Like and last year I really was consistent throughout the year. I did not think they were going to get it done until literally the Super Bowl. I
agree with you. I didn't think so either. But and last year they win because of Spags. Like who thinks
100%.
because of their defense?
The answer is you.
Yeah,
you would have thought. Because you've been singing his praises for a long time and you nailed it. You've said to me off air many times, don't count him out in these big spots. You're the one. The answer
what kind
is you.
of talent he had, and he's a great coach. Yeah. And Mahomes, so a defensive Mahomes, and then you look at Andy. You know what's incredible about Andy Reid is that he still has the energy, right? Yeah. The energy and the want to win. Like he's grinding again, and I was like, man. I was texting with him not long ago, and we were talking, and he's so into it. Like you think after all these years, you go, I got another Super Bowl. He's grinding again.
Yeah, he's terrific. Seems like a great human being. It's hard not to root for Andy Reid. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Andy Reid in this universe, at least. Just seems like a good guy, great coach, true Hall of Famer in every sense of the word. It's interesting, Anthony. When I look at this Kansas City team, and I mentioned this last year once the playoffs started. I go, when the Cavs with LeBron, many years they would go 48-34. They'd be the 3 seed, the 4 seed, and they'd play Atlanta and they'd sweep them. Atlanta would be the number 1 seed. They would have that second gear in the playoffs and I feel obviously Kansas City showed the same thing last couple of years. Once the playoffs have started, they've upped their game. But all that being said, Anthony, I only can lead toward the under.
All right, let's do this.
Yep.
Let's table the rest of them for tomorrow. All right.
Love it.
And we'll kind of run through the last of the win totals.
Yes, sir.
This is I get excited. Dude, I was looking at the college football schedule, playoff schedule. Yep. Oh my God. That's just outrageous. That's going to be.
Who's your favorite team, by the way? I don't know this. If we were on a show, what is Anthony's favorite show? I don't know it.
I don't have one.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Good answer.
You know what's weird? It's the only sport that I don't have a favorite team. Listen, I like coaches and players, and
I knew that.
I'll just kind of root for
your relationship.
For some reason, it's liberating not to have a favorite team in college. I love college football. I like it to me, it's the sport. So I start to fall in love with kids and coaches, and I'll go, all right. Obviously, I'm going to root for Nebraska because of Rule,
Coach Rule,
right?
Yeah.
A lot of different guys. But I'll listen. If Penn State's good, I'll roll bandwagon. I don't have any hatred toward it. When you're a Temple guy, what are you going to do? You got no team.
What are you going to do? Paul Palmer, baby.
That's right. Well, you know what I mean. You don't have a national championship team. So, all right, Brain, great stuff as always, buddy. Thanks, brother. Here he is, the Brain, brought to you by the Bet Park Sportsbook Casino app. Yes, and it's time for the big story. The big story is coming up with Zach Berman, and we'll get to Zach, brought to us by Trumark Financial Credit Union. Zach Berman to talk Eagles OTA. I'm looking forward to it. You got him, or what's the okay? Right.
Wait, well, so you would root for Penn State? I gotta talk about that.
I mean, listen, I'm not. If it affects us, there's a lot of PSU people. It's Pennsylvania. All right,
I get it.
I mean, I'm not going. We are. But I don't like. The only time I really enjoyed rooting against them was when Temple was good, which was the blip. It was like blue snow, right? It was. Matt Rule got that program to become a blink of a national program, right? We were that close. We had game day here. We had Notre Dame come in. It was one of the great
The
memories.
nostalgia, cuz.
It was awesome. Like I did game day. I love game day. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
And so I did game day with those guys, Herbie and them. It was the best.
That was probably my favorite college football year. As 2014. I remember I was at Xfinity for Notre Dame Temple, the college game day, and it was Halloween.
Yes.
Cause this
Saturday
place,
night.
I couldn't even breathe.
Blink.
Xfinity Live.
Yeah.
Watching, and it was all on the big screen. Temple, Notre Dame. It was so much fun to watch.
Well, that year was fun. If you remember, that's when Sackenberg, right? That's when they got. They were just. It was Memorial. It was Labor Day weekend, or it was the weekend after Labor Day. And they were just in his face the whole time. It was awesome.
I'm the same way. I don't have a college football team. I'm a Temple guy as well. So when is Temple ever going to be that good again? We'll never know. Maybe one day they'll be.
I just like play. I like the. It's weird.
Sure.
I can just like
there's
teams.
there's
and I like
teams.
the sport. So that's kind of I get geeked up over.
I used to love the UCLA teams with Maurice Jones-Drew, Mercedes Lewis, Ben Olsen.
Oh yeah,
I used to like those teams. When college football used to be on TBS. UCLA used to be always on TBS.
All right, you're packed. That Pac-12.
I was like Howie. Pac-10 back then.
All right, joining us, he covers the Birds for all PHLY. Look at him at the jacket, looking dapper. Zachariah, what do you say, Zach?
Hey, good to see you guys. Excited to talk Eagles.
Dude, you look good. Where you going? Where'd you come from?
I had something for my book this morning, like a photo shoot for the cover.
For the jacket?
For the jacket.
You had the jacket for the jacket.
Yeah, so that's kind of inside baseball for where I was this morning.
Nice, man. Congratulations. I can't wait till it comes out. We're going to push the hell out of that book because that's a must read for all of our Birds fans. All right, so give me the OTAs, man. Talk to me. Tell me about it. What'd you see? What do you glean? I know it's May, but any Birds nugget's a good nugget for me.
Well, the first thing that jumped out to me, let's start with the secondary because that was an area of focus here. All right, so Bradbury and Ringo weren't there. It's voluntary, of course, but Isaiah Rodgers first went up on the outside opposite Slay over Quinyon Mitchell. Now, with rookies, you typically slow play them, right? But it jumped out to me that Isaiah Rodgers was the first guy there. That he's someone who's kind of on their radar at that point in the depth chart. And then the other thing too is Cooper DeJean took work in the slot. Actually, his first rep in 7-on-7 was inside in the slot, and that jumps out to me because I think he's going to have a shot to win that job this summer. And then staying with the secondary
slot, I like all day long, baby.
Yeah, staying in the secondary too. Avonte Maddox, who was first up in the slot, but he also took work at safety, and that's important to see because the Eagles are undermanned in terms of depth at safety. The top of their depth chart is, but they have those two starters, Blankenship and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Sidney Brown's coming back from injury. Beyond that, they don't really have established depth. So someone like Avonte Maddox or Cooper DeJean even, but let's start with Maddox here. If he can play safety, that certainly helps the Eagles' depth and gives them a little more versatility. So that jumped out in the secondary especially.
All right, well, before you move on, Rodgers. Let's discuss Rodgers for a moment. And what do you think? Now, he can also return punts, right, or return kicks?
He
Rodgers?
can. They had a few other guys back there for the punt returns. They had Cooper DeJean. They had Aniyah Smith. They obviously had Britton Covey. But Rodgers has experience returning kicks for sure.
What do you think his, because he's an interesting wild card.
Yeah.
Like what's your expectation for Rodgers?
Well, this was my first time seeing him up close, right? He obviously wasn't with the team last year while he was on the gambling suspension. I saw him on film and on the field with the Colts, but never up close. He was longer than I expected, which is a good sign, right? There had always been talk about maybe he could compete for the slot. His experience with the Colts and at UMass was on the outside, and he has the frame of an outside corner. So that's what jumped out to me. He played well for the Colts. He was obviously suspended with the gambling situation, and that's why he was released. It had nothing to do with his play on the field. I actually think they had some reasonable expectations for him. The reason the Eagles signed him a year ago just to get him under or to get the rights to him is because they were willing to wait it out. And we'll see this summer how he looks. But given the fact that he's played meaningful snaps in the NFL at a decent level, he has decent size, and the Eagles have numbers at corner. When I did my 53-man roster a week ago, I had him on the outside looking in at this point. But there's going to be a lot of moving parts, and I actually think when you look at players like Eli Ricks, Keely Ringo, the Eagles could potentially have some trade trips if they wanted to fortify wide receiver depth or something of that nature.
Why would the Colts? They didn't have to release him, right? Like, why would you release him?
Good question. I think it was what I've heard and kind of my suspicion is given the nature of the gambling charges, right? They were just kind of cleaning their hands of him, so to speak, right? And a few teams did that with players who were hit with the gambling outside of Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams with Detroit, though, he wasn't gambling on football, I believe. He wasn't gambling on the NFL. So yeah, Isaiah Rodgers, because of the nature of it, is my guess there. But it's something that he did his year, so to speak, and he's back at it. And I think the Eagles are genuinely curious. I mean, Jeffrey Lurie said in March that he's someone that they do have expectations for.
All right. What else?
Yeah, so linebacker, Nakobe Dean wasn't taking part in 7-on-7 work, but it was interesting to see Zach Bond, first one up next to Devin White. And I point that out because Zach Bond's someone who has inside-outside versatility. When they signed him, I think Bond really wanted to get a shot at rushing the quarterback. And that early on in March, I thought he was going to be more of an edge rusher. If you remember 2 weeks ago, Vic Fangio, the first name he mentioned for inside backer was Zach Bond. So to see him there at inside backer next to Devin White, that certainly caught my eye. And then Devin White, look, when you're in shorts and shells and you have his athleticism, you're supposed to look fast. But I'll say this, he ran stride for stride with Saquon Barkley on like a wheel route down the left sideline, was in pass coverage there. And he's someone who he's played at a high level in the NFL. He was number 5 pick in the draft. Bad year last year, but you can rationalize the bad year if you can say he wanted a new contract, didn't get it. Some kind of internal dysfunction there, if you will, because he didn't get the contract. The Eagles took an inexpensive 1-year flyer on him, but this is someone who has shown he can play. He's been a key part of championship level defenses. So I'm curious to see with him. So in 7-on-7, obviously, but at this time of year, the back seven's what you're watching. You're not seeing much from the pass rushers. But I would say that's what jumped out to me. I wanted to see who the first guys up at linebacker would be.
Yeah, it's interesting. White, again, you're trying to piecemeal. I get what Howie's trying to do. Try to go at it where you're going to spend resources elsewhere. So you try to go and try to hit home runs. And you never know. Like you said, Devin White could be something. Did you see young Trotter Jr.?
I did. So Trotter Jr. obviously at this point is not with the top of the depth chart, but he was out there. He's moving around. Look, I know coming into the draft there was talks of his size. He doesn't seem small to me, right? And maybe it's because I've seen Nakobe Dean play the past few years, and I've seen some of these Eagles backers. But I don't think Trotter's size is going to be a disadvantage. The athleticism, hard to get a grasp on that. Maybe it's kind of a soft spot because he is Jeremiah Trotter. But even if you take away the name.
Zapped out. He said, take away the name Trot. Well, he just said he just got axed. The baby axe just got axed. I think we got him back now. I love when we have our guests. You hear the ting.
Oh yeah,
it's
the pick is in.
Yeah,
Andrew.
The pick is in. Here he is. He's back.
Sorry about that.
Baby axe got you.
Yeah, I got excited talking about him. I was saying when you watched him at Clemson, he was making plays, right? He didn't look too small or too slow when he was at Clemson. I understand the NFL is not the ACC, but Trotter Jr. is someone who I imagine when they get into these preseason games, you're going to see the instincts, you're going to see the ball skills, you're going to see the ability to blitz. I've heard the TJ Edwards comp a number of times. TJ Edwards is someone who, when he was coming out of Wisconsin, right, he did not get drafted because he didn't run well. But then when you watch him in camp, and you watch, for instance, Davion Taylor, who was a third-round pick, Edwards' instincts just made him such a better linebacker than Davion Taylor. I'm expecting to see that from Trot Jr.
Yeah, I can see that. Anywhere else? Where else we got? Where else we looking?
Yeah, let's go on offense here. First time seeing Saquon with the Eagles, of course, and he jumps out to you. Just the way he's built. You know, you've been hearing about like Saquon's quads now for a decade, but he looks different than Will Shipley. He looks different than Kenny Gainwell. He looks different than Lou Nichols. You saw him catching the ball from Hurts yesterday, and I imagine he's going to be involved quite a bit in the passing game this year. So that's one thing. Wide receiver depth, that's been a big topic for the Eagles this week.
Devontae Parker. Yeah.
Exactly. Devontae Smith was not at practice yesterday, so that takes away your starter. But this is a spot that I think the Eagles are going to need to address. I thought Paris Campbell made some flash plays yesterday, but still, I don't know if the Eagles have that third and fourth receiver that really makes you comfortable going into the season. So I had a piece on allphly.com on Tuesday about some of the options that are out there. It's slim pickings on the free agent market unless you think someone like Michael Thomas can rebound or McCole Hardman can do good work outside of Kansas City. He struggled with the Jets last year. But there's some intriguing guys potentially on the trade market, whether it's Traylon Burks, whether it's John Mechie, teams who've added wide receivers this offseason, that if I were Howie, I would kind of be looking at my surplus of D-backs, and I'll try to see if he can make a move for a wide receiver.
Yeah, I like Mechie.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Player at Alabama. Exactly.
Yeah,
Played
yeah.
with Devontae. A second-round pick, missed his rookie year while recovering from cancer, and came
I
back
think there's
last
some
year,
value there.
and they just added numbers. So that's definitely a player to watch.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. How was Jalen?
Jalen, so he was moving well. Now he carried out one of their fakes running downfield. This time of year he should be fresh. In terms of passing the ball, nothing really kind of jumped out one way or the other. Like he was holding the ball a little long. Some of that could have to do with the fact that they were down on wide receivers. But the connection with AJ Brown is there. I can tell you that. Like his first series, he was going to AJ, he was going to Saquon, and I imagine that's what you're going to see.
I love it. Zachariah, great stuff. What time's your show?
We're on at noon, breaking down OTAs. It's gonna be it's gonna be fun to talk about after yesterday.
Oh, I can't wait. I need more nuggets. More. And that's the beauty of all PHLY is that we give you all the nuggets. Every team, every day has its own show. Zach and Bo Wolf do such a great job on the Birds. Thanks, brother.
Thank you. See you soon.
Appreciate it, buddy. All right. Coming up, I'm so excited because this Phillies thing has been so much fun, right? Like, it's 50 games in, JP, and we're just rolling, right? And it reminds you, and I was thinking about this because when they had this historic season, 93 was a lot like it. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Mr. Philly is going to join us, one of my favorite people, one of the best. L.A., the great Larry Anderson will be joining us coming up next. But first, let me tell you about Butcher Box. Yesterday, we got one to the right here at our studio. And I opened it up. I unboxed it. And we saw chicken, beef, steaks. Oh, my God.
The bro almost stole some, cuz. The bro almost stole some of that stuff.
Always the bro trying to steal our food. Amazing. He's trying to steal Julia's food. It's not right, man. I get the Butcher Box at home. I got my two boys, Anthony and Massimo, all right? And they're two young athletes, and they got to eat protein. I got protein. I got Anthony on the protein shakes. Protein. He's lifting. I'm like, dude, you got to lift. Massimo's got tournaments, right? Like, you got
love it.
Protein. So it's grilling season. You want Butcher Box. All right, 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork raised crate-free, wild-caught seafood. You're mainly raised. No antibiotics, no added hormones. That's big. When I talk about the kids and feeding the family. And by the way, it's easy. It's simple. The ingredients are the best. Trust me. You got to go to butcherbox.com. All right? Butcherbox.com. Use the code PHLY. That'll get you free meat and $20 off your first box. Butcher Box. You're saving time from the grocery store. Comes right to your doorstep. It's grilling season. It's the best cuts of meat and the best quality seafood that you can get delivered right to you. ButcherBox/PHLY. Get yours today.
All right, cuz. Well, I know a lot of grilling's going to be going on this weekend because it's Memorial Day weekend, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, while you're grilling, whether you're down the shore or you're going to be here, you need to protect those eyes, ladies and gentlemen. That's where Shady Rays comes into play. Guys, listen, with the beach weekend coming up, I'm definitely going to be rocking my Shady Rays down in Brigantine, and I hope to see some of you guys rocking some of your Shady Rays there as well. And listen, I love Shady Rays because, look, you guys know me, I love my sunglasses, but where Shady Rays is different from some of the other companies is that they give you quality, but you're not breaking the bank for this great pair of sunglasses that you're going to buy from Shady Rays. And you know what else, too? This weekend, listen, I know if you guys are like my fiance, loves to bring the sunglasses to water. I tell her every time, babe, just leave the sunglasses here so you don't lose another pair. If you are one of those people, you can bring Shady Rays into the water with you. And if you happen to lose them, you're all right, because Shady Rays will hook you up with a free pair if you happen to lose them or break them. That's the difference that Shady Rays give you. And over 300,000 people agree with me as well, as they give them 5-star ratings online here. So guys, what are you waiting for? Here's what you got to do. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of this season. That's right, 35% off. In this economy, that's right, 35% off polarized sunglasses. That's the deal that Shady Rays is giving us here today. So head on over, shadyrays.com, use a promo code PHLY, cuz hope you're stunning in your Shady Rays this weekend.
That sounds good. I got baseball.
Nah, well, you still need the shades.
Oh, yeah. We have baseball. Speaking of baseball, we have one of the legends.
A goat.
I love. He's one of the greatest guys in the world. And with this Phillies team, it's just happy, right? It's fun. It's something that you can just every night. It's such a joy. And of course, no one better to enjoy it with than Phillies broadcaster Larry Anderson. LA, what's up, brother?
How you doing? Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you, buddy. My main man. This thing is so much fun every night, LA.
Yeah, it's one of those things where obviously we haven't seen it before. I mean, we were close to this in '93, but this team surpassed that. I mean, they're just unbelievable. And every day you go out there, it's somebody different. Somebody's doing it today. Somebody's doing it tomorrow. Somebody's the next day. It's just. When you talk about a team effort, this team is the epitome of a team effort.
What is it like going to a clubhouse like that? Like in '93, one of the things that it was like every day was fun, and that's kind of feels like the same similarity here.
Yeah, it's the guys are just first of all, they've got, I think, a lot of similarities to the '93 team. Is the camaraderie, how close these guys are. It's been for a few years now for pretty much the same core, and they're really gelling. I think this year really, the way the season ended last year, and we talked about, they wanted to get off to a good start this year. And after the first two series, I remember talking on one of the shows where we talked about, oh no, the Phils aren't off to a good start. And I was like, oh, it's time to panic. There's only 156 games left. But they just, these guys, they knew what they had to do. Did they get off to a slow start the first two series? Yeah, but I mean, come on. I wouldn't consider this a slow start right now.
They are 2 games. It's unbelievable, the pace. 2 wins off of one game, 2 wins off of Seattle, and the record. It's unbelievable. And you said it, like every night. How about the atmosphere down there? Oh. Is it not the greatest Like
There's
it's like Xanadu, happy in this on earth.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. But I've said this forever that to me, I mean, most recently I've said this that there's such a thing as home field advantage, and then there's Phillies home field advantage, and they're two different things. The Phillies obviously it didn't end the way we wanted it to last year, but the fans, the way they've reacted to this team, the way the players have done everything they can to keep these fans involved, on the field, off the field. They're just it's a great group of guys, and they just I don't know when the fans come out, it's like the players. I said this. I've said it for a long time. When teams are good and teams are playing like they are now, they go out on the field. They know they're going to win. That doesn't mean they're going to finish the season without another loss. But you go out there with that mentality. We're not losing. We're going to win this game. A lot of teams go out there and they say, "Well, we think we can win this game." These guys know they're going to win the game. That doesn't mean they will, and I think the fans have taken to that. The fans come to the game knowing they're going to see a winning game. They're going to see a great game, and they're going to walk away winners. And I think that drives people to the ballpark even more.
And then once you're there, it's almost. I mean, it's sometimes you have to pinch yourself. You go, wait a second. It's May, and they treat pitch by pitch, and you know baseball, right? Like nobody. You've been around this game your whole life. Nobody knows baseball like you, and baseball. That's October. In May, the intensity for every pitch, living on every pitch, it's awesome. Like the energy, because baseball can be sleepy at times. It's at this place. It feels like October every night in the summer. In the spring.
Does, and it's like in the past, it never started. I don't remember it ever starting like this as far as the fan base.
Yeah.
It was middle of May, starting about now. If you're playing really well, then fans would start packing the place. This has been from day one. They haven't stopped, and it's again they come to the park. They know they're buying a great product. Is basically what they're doing. They're coming to the park and knowing that they're going to get what they paid for. And even if they don't win, I mean, almost every game they're in it, and they've got a chance to win. And I think for the fans, that's all they want. They want to see a team that has a chance to win every time they go out there, and this team does.
Well, and we'll get to the team in a second, but just to go further with this thing, you've been to every park, right, 50 million times, right? You're going through the whole circuit. You've been through all these things, teams that are good, teams that are bad, whatever. I don't ever remember. I'm thinking like I was in New York covering the Yankees, like I Fenway. I mean, yeah, October. But I never remember an atmosphere, Dodger Stadium. I don't ever remember an atmosphere like Citizens Bank Park, ever.
There's nothing like it. I mean, you just can't. To me, you can't compare this. I mean, I basically, New York has so many people. They're obviously got a chance to pull a lot of fans in. But aside from that, Philadelphia, Boston, Chicago, to me, are three great cities to play, great fan bases. I think I would say Philly and Boston are very close in that regard, but to come out right from the get-go, and the other thing, Fenway's small. I mean, people, they're begging for a ticket, and not that people aren't begging for a ticket here, but you have a little more capacity. But the way they've come out from day one, and it's just packing the house, and to go out there as a player, knowing that you've got that every day coming in. That's a great feeling to know. Hey, these guys got my back. They're coming in here. They're supporting us like nobody else. And there's no place like Philadelphia other than Philly.
And you mentioned the group of guys in the clubhouse, and that's key, right? That's paramount. Yeah. Bryce asking a girl to the prom for a young fan on the off day. Castellanos throwing the cell phone back to the guy who dropped it in the outfield. Like these little things, like you mentioned, off the field, on the field, like there is an amazing bond between like this group and the fan and the town. I've never seen. Yeah. That's something else. Like you had some of that in '93, but I don't even know if to this level.
I don't think to this level. It's. I mean, obviously things are different today than they were 20 years ago, 30 years ago. But it is the guys, they understand it. The guys that are here, I would say almost every single one of them, they know what it means. They know what it takes. They know what they have here in Philadelphia. And I think to a man, Whit Merrifield to me is a perfect example. Is he had a chance to go somewhere else and play every day. He said, after seeing what Philly was like in the playoffs and talking with other players that have been through here, he's like, I want to be a part of that. And to come here and say, I'll take a spot on the bench just to be a part of what it's like in this playoff atmosphere. But it's not even playoff atmosphere now. It's every day is that atmosphere. And to have that as a player coming to the park, it's like, what a great feeling.
It starts. Listen, I know Schwarber is a big presence in that room, but the whole thing starts with Bryce, right? Like, you have a true superstar, and I don't know many superstars that love it, like shows devotion to his town, like that he loves being here. I think it all begins kind of with his love affair with Philadelphia.
Yeah, and I think that the three words that just summarize him and the players behind him is they get it. Bryce Harper gets it. He gets it. 3 words. He gets it. If you can't play in this town, if you can't handle constructive criticism, people getting on you, if you can't handle that, don't come here. You don't belong here. But I remember after the first year of Bryce Harper, I remember speaking to him. It was down in Washington at the end of the season, and I was on a trip. But last year I traveled, yeah. And we're down in Washington, and I went up to him and I said, I appreciate what you've done this year. It was his first year with the Phillies. I said, everything you've done from the fans. The fans booed him early on. I mean, they got on him with the slow start when he first got here. He handled that so well. That the time he spends with the kids, the prom thing that he just did, he gets it. He understands what this town, what people's lives. I don't say they depend on the sports in this town, but it has a lot to do with their attitude throughout every week. Whether it's Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, it doesn't matter. They're passionate about their teams, and when their teams aren't doing well, they suffer. And it's you can see it in just in the city. Where else do you have that? Where it's like they live and die with their sports teams. That passion that they have, you can't replace that. You can't just make that up.
Has the fan changed? I was thinking about this the other day. Like, you think, and obviously, there's people change, and I think as a society, we've become, I think, more tolerant or whatever you want to call it, less hardened at times. But I do think I've never seen this fan, like the youth. I love it. Like, to me, it's beautiful because they've like embraced everything, and I think that kind of mentality has filtered, like it breathes new life into the older fan. Like, they're in on the party. Like, it's a true party kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, everybody's invited, in this town. When it comes to that, everybody from 3 years old to 103 years old, everybody's part of the party. Everybody's invited to the party. Everybody takes part. Everybody has a chance, and it's there's nothing to. I don't know if the fan has changed so much as this team has brought more fans into it. In baseball all around, I think attendance has gone up. It's been good, but to see what it's like here, I feel bad for teams and the guys that play in Miami for their whole career. It's in Tampa Bay. It's hard. It's a whole different story going to the park, and there's going to be 8,000 people there. Even though they'll say there's 18,000 or 20,000, the players know there's nobody there, and it's tough to play that way. It's compared to what it's like walking out on the field here. You really can't compare it, and I can't explain why it's different. But the energy that comes with the fan base that we have here can't be replaced. It can't be copied anywhere else. If you don't have that, it's a different ballgame for the player just going to the park.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, LA. Yeah, you make it's brilliant. I remember back in the day covering games in Montreal and
Yeah.
just like nobody there. You look around the crowd and half of them were smoking, right? Like it was just crazy. Like it was quiet. Like you could hear guys, and I think back to the roars that happens now, and even like go back to '93 and the roar that comes out of it, that's got to give a player chills. Like that actually affects you. That lifts you up.
Yeah, I mean it to me it puts the player it puts him takes him to a higher level, and you it's something that you can't. There's no recipe to it. It's I don't know all the physiological terminology or anything, but it brings energy to you. The energy that you feel in the park from all the fans, it gets built up in you, and you end up doing, I think, more than you're used to doing or capable of doing. It does. I don't know how to say it. Just other than it just takes you to another level. It really does.
I was so excited to talk to you because the rosters. I'm dying to talk about how good they are because and then we'll do the rotation last because nobody does pitching like you. You look at this lineup is with Bohm and Stott and Marsh, the daycare coming into their own. I mean, this is probably the best lineup that we've seen. I mean, 08 and 09, go back to 80. But I think this is kind of the best lineup that's top to bottom.
I think it's the most complete that as you said just now, top to bottom. And it's I think you mentioned Bohm. Harper's all of a sudden, I shouldn't say all of a sudden, but seems like of late, last couple of weeks, he has really turned it around. And I think for me, a lot of that is because Bohm's hitting behind him. But you see him lately. A few more pitchers having a tendency, or teams having a tendency to pitch to Harper because this RBI machine that's hitting behind him. It doesn't matter if it's a righty or a lefty on the mound. He's going to get the job done. He's going to drive in the run somehow, some way. He might fist one in the right. He might pull one down the line to left. There's no telling, but he's going to get the runs in. He's got that mentality when he goes to the plate. I'm going to get these guys in here. And I think I really believe it's helped Harper offensively at the plate. But it's the young kid. You're right. The Marsh, the Stotts, the Rojas. I think he, to me, got to maybe just started to get a little too complacent, a little too comfortable out there, which you can't do as a rookie. I mean, you got to go out there. You can't take plays off. You can't miss balls. You can't, and he understands that. I think he's a great young talent. Offensively, not as much as defensively right now, but that could turn around too. But I just these kids that come in and basically they become a part of, or they help the main guys, your main guys in there, but the guys around them, the guys around Remuto, Harper, Schwarber, the young guys, they're doing a tremendous job. And that's why I say it's like this to me is one of the greatest teams when it comes to team effort.
Yeah.
They don't, and when you watch the guys, like Thompson's really doing a good job of giving guys a day off, getting them off their feet. Each guy, getting spelled a little bit here or there. When you watch the guys that aren't in the game, the regulars, the way they're pulling for their guys taking their place, they're on their feet, they're stomping, they're pounding on the pad on the dugout. They're all pulling for each other, and it doesn't matter who's doing it. They just want them to win, and they just want to win themselves.
Hey, real quick with Bohm, what makes him such a great hitter? Is his plate coverage? Like it looks right.
Yeah, I think there's not one thing when you look at it, say, well, what's the guy's weakness? I don't know. I mean, they throw him up and in, he can fight one off the right. They throw it down and away, he can hit a bullet through the hole to the right side. They throw something slow or pitch him in, he can turn on it. He can do so much with the bat no matter where the ball is pitched. I think that's what makes him so good. He can handle any pitch in any part of the plate.
Yeah, he's astounding. All right, let's begin with Ranger. Wow. I love there's nothing better than listening to you. You and Scott are my favorite, man. I love it, and I love when you talk about it, man. When you talk about and breaking Ranger down, man, is great. So let me get out of the way and shut up.
His first of all, I think this is something that he's always been capable of, and we saw it in the playoffs the last 2 years. What he can do. One of these days I'm expecting I'm going to see a heartbeat, because he's out there. Most of the time, you expect the EMTs to be out there because they can't find a pulse. You know, we got to resuscitate them. No, wait a minute, he's fine. That's just him. His heart only beats once a minute. But he's so cool, calm, and collected. But that I think that helps him tremendously. But his ability to just stay focused on what he needs to do. A couple of years ago, we had the last year, the World Baseball Classic, visa problems in the past. He finally comes to spring. He's healthy. There's no World Baseball. There's nothing to disrupt him. He has a regular spring, and he's out there starting the season like you expect him to be every year now. I mean, his curveball has become so much more of a weapon for him. The changeup, and all of a sudden, hitters see the curveball, they see the changeup, and now they're sitting there. Now he's not throwing 105, he's throwing 93, 94. And how many times have we seen a right-hander, be frozen on a fastball middle in? Doesn't even have to be a perfect pitch. It just freezes him though, because after the changeup and the curveball, his fastball looks like it's 104 instead of 94, and freezes him. And he understands that. He's not young. He's 28. I mean, he's somewhat young, but I mean, he's got some experience. But he's always known how to pitch, and I think that's one of his biggest assets. He knows how to pitch. He knows how to mix things up. I think now he's at a point where his confidence is so high, he doesn't have to think a whole lot like maybe some other guys do. He can just go out there and just say, okay, I'm throwing this pitch here, I'm throwing this here. He can tell the hitters what's coming, and I think he would still have success because his command is so good. He's just tremendous competitor too.
Yeah, it's remarkable because you mentioned his temperament. His temperament's unreal. Like you're right. It's like watching him, and you're it's funny. Like you wonder. You go, what? You use the EMT line, and it's so true. Like you never see it. You never see him sweat. Like you never see and like when you watch a guy and. Even when he's in somewhat trouble, which has been rare this year, there's never a tense. Like there's never a breath.
No, you would never know it. You wouldn't know if he's got a perfect game going or if he's given up 4 runs in the first 2 innings. You would not know it from his mannerisms on the mound. He doesn't give the other team any advantage if things aren't going well. Or if he doesn't feel his best, the other team will never know that from Ranger. And I think that's something that I think some pitchers we've had where they wear their emotions too much on their sleeves, where they get their head down, that things aren't going well, they're shrugging their shoulders. The other team sees that. They're like, oh, this guy's right. He is ready to be taken down. Ranger, you wouldn't know. Nothing changes with him.
And this rotation, you got to give Dombrowski a ton of credit because it fits. And bringing Nola back was a huge deal, man. Yeah. I always say he's like Miss Pac-Man, man. He just eats innings.
Yes.
Right? And you need that over the course of a year. I love how the rotation kind of fits together with Wheeler, Ranger, Nola, and then, Sanchez, and you see everybody else kind of fill in, Walker and Turnbull.
Right. One of the guys, to me, if Sanchez had a little bit more run support, he hasn't had much, but if he had a little more, he would have some a much better win-loss record. Yeah. And here's a guy, a kid that kind of following in Rangers' footsteps to me. He's got a great changeup. His changeup might be better than Rangers, but it's so good. And Sanchez is one guy like so much, especially with the analytics coming in, it's like we got to get this guy out. Trevor Williams with the Nationals having a great year, but he throws 90 pitches, 80 pitches, whatever, 5 innings. Third time through the order, he's out. He doesn't face a team with third time through the order. And almost all pitchers are this way. They start off good, but the second time through, they hit him a little more. Third time through, they hit him a lot more. Sanchez is the opposite. Sanchez starts off slow, and each time through the order, he's better and better, and that's just rare. It speaks to his stuff and to his ability to get anybody out anytime, whether they've seen him before or not. That's how good his stuff is. I think a little better command of his fastball, and I do think tightening up a breaking ball for him would help a lot. But still, I mean, even without that, if he was getting some run support, he'd probably be 7-1, 8-2. Who knows? He's got a lot. He's got a lot of potential, and I think you're talking about this guy as your number 5 starter. And so when you look at the rotation as a whole, you go, holy cow! And the job Turnbull did when Taijuan Walker was out, you can't match it. You can't replace it. That's just the way that the whole rotation.
I do. Now, I know you can't bring him in with runners on. It's hard to roll and it's hard to bring him in with runners on. It's kind of a shame because it's almost like you stash him. God forbid something happens, Walker, or somebody blows up, somebody gets hurt. You have a guy in Turnbull because I liked him in Detroit.
Yeah, definitely. And this is before he got hurt. He had great stuff.
Yeah.
It's taken him a couple years to get back from his surgery. But look what he did. I mean, he was filthy. It's like, obviously, Taijuan Walker, you don't want to take the job away from him because he got hurt. But the contract obviously has some say in that too, I think. I don't think that's a secret. But Turnbull's like, you could throw him in a rotation, get him stretched out again to 6 innings, 7 innings. He'll step in and do a great job again. I mean, that's the depth of this team. I said for a lot of the spring and over the winter and even the start of the season, the key to this team was that no injuries because they don't have the depth. And I was wrong. Way wrong. This team has a lot more depth than I thought, to me. You look at everything they do. Cody Clemens comes out. Like Thompson said, this guy's a big league player. He's just in a tough spot right now. But look at what he's done coming off the bench. Finally gets a pinch hit. We hadn't had a pinch hit in our first, I think, 17, 18 at bats with pinch hitters. We didn't have a hit. He got the first one. He's got some big hits and guys in the bullpen. It just, whatever it is, guys are everybody's doing a job, and that's the thing. That just there is the depth. And what are we, 12-13-3 since Turner's been out?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? Like, it's unbelievable.
And the job Sosa's doing, it's short, and some big home runs, some big hits. It's I think
out of the bullpen. How about Strom's doing? Oh my God!
It doesn't matter, righty, lefty. With him, there's no matchups. It's just come in and get him out, and maybe by a strikeout. But like, they're not even barreling balls up. They're not even hitting balls hard off him consistently at all. I mean, he's just coming in there and just dealing. And a guy that can also, he can go out for 2 innings and do that. Where today, so many relievers are like, I'm only a 1 inning. I don't know how they dictate that they're only 1 inning pitchers, but I guess that's what we allow them to do anymore. So be it. It is what it is. But he'll go out there and give you a couple innings, maybe 3 if you needed it.
I got to tell you, it's such a blast. And you know what? You make it even better, brother. You're the greatest.
I appreciate that.
Man, this is so much fun. It was funny. I was telling everybody, listen, this is such a gift. Like, we remember 93, we remember 08, 09, 10, 11. But pitch by pitch, don't rush to October. Enjoy every one of these games. It's a different animal, right? Let it be.
Yes.
And just enjoy this because what we're seeing now is rare.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to happen. Don't expect it every year, but cherish this. Honestly, exactly what you said, Ant. Just take it all in right now because this is something you might never see again. What this team's doing right now and what you hope to do by the end of the season. You might not see another one like this ever. So take it all in.
The great LA. You're the best, man. Love you, brother.
Appreciate it. Love you too, pal. Thanks a lot.
Buddy. The great Larry Anderson, man. I love him. He's the best. He's such a treasure.
That was awesome.
Well, this team's like it's the fun fest. You know?
Yeah.
It's just fun. All right, buddy.
Let's go,
Cuz Clubhouse coming up next. I know you want to tell people about some things.
Yeah,
and then,
guys.
We'll hit the Clubhouse.
Let's do it. So we'll start off with some Olipop, ladies and gentlemen. The weekend is coming up, Memorial Day weekend. You guys understand the theme. And while you're grilling or down at the beach, at a pool, need something refreshing, consider an Olipop, all right? Listen, we always talk about it's the world's first functional soda with that classic soda taste and the benefits of plant-based fiber, prebiotics, and other botanical ingredients to support that gut health. And Olipop only has 2 to 5 grams of sugar with 9 grams of fiber. Guys, listen, there's nothing wrong with drinking something that tastes good, but also good for you. That's where Olipop comes into play. And guys, it's accessible to get yourself some Olipop. They're available in over 30,000 retailers nationwide, including their recent launch at our favorite Wawa. Also available at Target, Sprouts, Wegmans, ShopRite, and you can get it delivered late night to go with GoPuff as well. We always got you covered here with that promo code, ladies and gentlemen. Promo code PHLY20. It'll get you 20% off your next Olipop order. However, this discount only applies to one-time orders and not to subscription orders. Olipop is sold online at drinkolipop.com, and you can also get it on Amazon as well. So guys, this weekend, need something refreshing for your dog, your burger, pizza, whatever you may be eating. Consider some Olipop. And with that, guys, it is 10:32 right now in the morning here on the Anthony Gargano Show. We really appreciate you guys tuning in here on this Thursday morning. If you guys are enjoying the content, do us a solid, hit that like button, and then hit that subscribe button as well. Once you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button too, because that'll let you know exactly when the Anthony Gargano Show will be live. Those are your notifications. And of course, here is your lineup here today from PHLY Sports. Following us here at 12 p.m., you just saw Zach Berman. Zach will be live with Bo at 12 p.m. for PHLY Eagles. At 12:30 p.m., PHLY Phillies have you with a watch-along, but that starts with a pregame show. Tyler's really behind the glass with Renee Washington and Jamie Lynch. They'll have you with the pregame. At 1:05, obviously first pitch, they'll have you for the watch-along all the way through. And then the postgame show will be, obviously when the game's over, but around 3:30. So make sure you guys are watching, keeping up with PHLY Phillies. At 2:30, you have PHLY Sixers going live to talk some more offseason. So that's what's on the docket here at PHLY Sports. We have a lot of good content coming up. But guys, of course, if you want to be part of this great family that we're building here, you got to be a diehard. It's simple, guys. Being a diehard is the way to go. Of course, you get access into that Discord chat that is so much fun. You saw the cousin Jamie going back and forth with Jamie's pizza takes, but that's the fun stuff that's going on in those Discord communities. And of course, we are implementing video calls. So with that Discord, that gets you all the instructions you need to talk to the cuz himself. So make sure you guys are keeping up to that. But of course, you get exclusive content from our great beat writers here. You get discounts on our merch through PHLY Locker. You see me rocking that swag here every single day. So you guys need to be a diehard. That's all the great stuff we have here on PHLY Sports. And we'll be back here for the Clubhouse, cuz.
Sounds good. Clubhouse next. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Anthony Gargano Show. This portion of the program brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Make sure you go to see the TrueMark difference. TrueMark.com/PHLY. And, of course, L.A. was brought to you by Rite Aid. We love our Rite Aid, man. Your neighborhood pharmacy. Those neighborhood pharmacies are so important. All right? Go to RiteAid.com for all of your allergy relief, or if you need some vaccines, RiteAid.com to make your appointment. John Zapata, JP, Violations, Greg Caputo, VG.
What's up?
You got how many hats you have?
I'm a bald man. I got lots of hats.
How many Phillies hats you have?
Not many in rotation.
30?
Like 4 or 5 in rotation.
Dude, I swear you have a different hat.
He doesn't have more than me.
I don't know, like 4 or 5 in rotation. I got a ton in the closet that I don't wear, but yeah. Bucket hats, all that stuff. You know, bucket hat might come out for the beach tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, we have Beach Day. Well, we're celebrating
go.
Memorial Day weekend, kick off the summer 2024.
I may need a little help. I'm a little nervous right now.
What are you nervous about?
Some news came through the wire, and I don't like it with the Phils. You know who's throwing out the first pitch today?
Who?
Don Brown.
What?
The Cowboy fan.
Cowboy underachieving fan, yes. If there's anything that's going to put a stop to this mojo, it's Dom stinking Brown.
Oh, no, please. Why'd you bring that up to me?
Because that's what I'm thinking. Why would they bring this guy out?
No slander to the All-Star.
The only positive is that he had a good May,
Dude.
and we're still in May.
Yeah, if it was
an
June,
all-star,
we'd be
man.
done.
Yeah.
No, but here's the problem. You're right. Oh, man. Dude.
Don Brown?
Yeah, that's a bad. Listen,
But for
the
what?
Phillies front office and all, like, they're great. Like,
Yes.
if they know how to put on ceremonies.
Yes.
They're all. This was a mistake.
It's right up there with Lieberthal on the Wall of Fame.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you said that because those were the only two things over the years.
Yes.
That I disagreed with.
Yes.
When it comes to, like, I always like, when it comes to the Phillies, like throwing ceremonies, again, paying homage, tributes, they're class. First class all the way. I've always loved them. Lieberthal should not be on a wall. And I agree with you. Don Brown should not throw out the first pitch.
Guy, such an under. Never lived up to expectations. And we have the highest of expectations
and it was
right
the
now.
home run contest. Remember, he had all those home runs. And
12 in May.
Right. And it was the home run contest, the Derby. The Derby is what killed Don Brown. And he was never the same.
Never. And he's a Cowboys fan.
And he's a Cowboys
The
fan.
dang Derby.
Yeah, I'm out on Dom.
I will say, caught ESPN this morning. They're feeling it. They cut to, it was time to do the highlights of the Rangers game last night. And they're like, we go to Philly. They're like, let's check in on the Rangers and Phillies in Philadelphia, where the Phillies are about to win 150 games this year.
It's fantastic. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I don't know about you guys, right? But I'm enjoying it. Like, I want the record.
Yeah,
I want the
you
record.
want the record?
Yes.
I don't give.
I know you don't
flying
care about it.
crap
I don't
about
care
the
either.
record.
I want the record.
I want
Yeah.
the World Series.
Yeah.
Okay, well, who doesn't want the World Series?
That's a lot of pressure, though.
You
You
go
go into the
And
playoffs.
this argument, I never understand. Like, I knew he would have. I knew VG would have this.
But you know who you're with Dave.
I care about the record.
Dave P agrees with you. I will accept the greatest regular season in history, even if we don't win. Come on.
Okay, who doesn't want to win?
Like, obviously, it's nice to get the record, but, like, you want to win. Come
That's a
on.
lot
Like,
of
so
pressure
you
going to the
I
playoffs.
said I want the record. All right, I want the best record in the history of baseball. Now,
Does that
what
come
happens-
with a World Series?
Well,
that'd be great.
No, I want the record. Then I want him to lose. What kind of
What are
nonsense
you gonna
is
put
that?
a little plaque on your shelf? We got the record.
I want the record.
All right.
Like I'm rooting for the record.
117?
I want the record.
He
Are you
wants the
doing
record.
117, 118? What's the record
Yeah.
for you? Because 116 is the record. How far are we going? How many wins?
Oh my God.
Whatever.
Come on, you gotta put a number to it if you
more
want
than
the record.
116. What? How
So
hard
you want
is
to
that?
tie the record.
Go get out of the box. At least 117.
Even I don't want to tie the record.
I
Come
don't
on,
want to
Andrew,
tie.
tie
Why
the
would you
record.
want to tie the record? I don't understand you people. Of course, everybody wants to win. Who doesn't want to win? Oh, I want the World Series. Really, JP? You want the World Series?
I don't want the pressure.
Cause he-
I don't want
World
the
Series.
parade. Like,
No,
what am
I don't. No,
an
not
a-hole?
He doesn't
the
want the
pressure. The pressure.
The record parade,
What
man.
pressure?
Once they get to 112,
Oh,
it's
what do
going
you
to
mean
be
what
tough.
pressure? If you break that record, you know how much pressure they're gonna have. They,
So what?
Everyone's be like, they gotta win the World Series now.
Okay, if they win 109 games, you don't think there's pressure to win?
Not as much as breaking or tying that record.
Now you're talking about this much pressure versus that much pressure.
You can't handle the pressure.
Who gives a rat's ass? It's pressure. You're going to have to end the last year and losing 2 games at home to Arizona and the NLCS. Yeah.
It's cool.
There's pressure.
but I don't need it. It's cool, but I don't need it.
Get out.
Now I
Makes no
want
sense.
it. Just to spite him, I want it now. I want the pressure.
You
Give
too.
me the pressure.
You too, Frazier. The only person with sense in this room is Julia. Right, we're 160.
She's wearing a Don Brown jersey today. What are you talking about?
Put a damn number to it. Why can't beat the record? What do you want, 170? 130?
Yeah, there we go. I'll take
Come
that.
on, dude,
130.
stop. God, I can't believe I'm getting pushback on the record. What do you
Record
got?
schmecker.
VG's
You know who
no.
handles pressure? Alec Boehm.
I love the Bomer.
So, someone dug it up. Oh, it's I think it's someone. The stat guy from the Daily News.
Oh, are you kidding? Boo?
Yeah, I think he put this out. Boehm in his last 9 at bats with the bases loaded, he's made 1 out. He's got 11 RBIs in 9 plate appearances with the bases loaded.
Wow.
Boo.
Walk, 2-run single,
Boo Bones,
2-run
that's great.
single, hit by pitch, ground out, hit by pitch, sacrifice fly, and a 2-run double.
That's insane, man.
He can't do nothing wrong. He got that little bloop shot last night, dropped for an
Yeah.
RBI.
I mean, that's what it was funny. LA said that. Like, you fight one off high in.
Yeah.
Right? High and inside, you fight it off.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, no, you know what makes him so great, though, is I wanted LA to talk about, but, dude, there's nowhere to pitch him. His plate coverage is absurd.
Yes. And he's done a really good job. Once he gets to 2 strikes, he'll go swinging for the outside ones that, he can't get a hold of. But he's really, narrowed down. His selection has been way more selective. Right? So he's making good contact. I mean, that bloop was what it is, but if there's
Well, you
someone,
gotta
if there's
protect
someone on
yourself,
third
right?
base,
You're going to protect yourself.
he's going to get the ball in the outfield.
Right. You're going to get contact. You're not going to strike out. He's old school when it comes to that.
Yeah. I mean, the Rangers did not look good yesterday with all those errors. I mean, you saw that one that was like the play to second, and he just throws it over to the second baseman. Like,
The guy was ducking.
He was ducking. He
Thought
wasn't
it was
even
going to
looking. He
first.
wasn't
Yeah.
even looking. He was looking at the plate. Like,
No.
They're
He
off. They're off. That team's off.
Well, no, he was looking. He thought he was going to have to go to first, so that's why he ducked.
Yeah, you know why they're off? Because they're playing the Phillies in Citizen Bank Park in front of 42,000
Yeah.
people. They can't handle the pressure. They're not used to this in a regular season game.
I mean, they play just complete. It's amazing, and it reminds me of, and you remember this, in 07, 08, 09, when they would fall behind early.
Oh.
They would just come right back,
Yeah.
come and flex.
There was no deficit where you didn't think they could make a run back then.
No.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Harper crushed that ball last night in his home run. And I couldn't help but, I like to check out the crowd. The faces in the crowd, everyone's jaws and mouth are wide open. Look at them all.
That's
Crushed that, right? And I love that my man circled, bringing it. Usually not a muscle shirt guy myself, but Diamond Club rocking the muscle
Love
shirt.
that.
Props to that dude, keeping it real. But their faces, everyone's jaw, as soon as they saw it, it's just like, what?
Dude, I love your John Madden breakdowns.
That is
The
tremendous.
guy in the front.
VG, you're right.
He's like John Madden over there.
He is like
Whoa.
that.
That guy in the front with that blue sport coat on. He's lucky.
He's just
lucky his heart
mesmerized.
didn't give out there.
He's like, oh my God. Look at that. That's good. That's great work by you. You
thanks,
are a
man.
man of the telestrator. You're like the czar.
The czar?
Mike Fratello.
Oh, yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah, yes.
You know who Mike Fratello is?
I do not know.
He was a long-time NBA coach.
Okay.
He coached the Atlanta Hawks
Okay.
forever.
With Wilk and Spud?
Yes.
Okay.
Dominique. Yep. And Fratello, they used to call him the Czar, the telestrator. He started the NBA. On the NBA on TNT, when you went to the analyst, Fratello would mark it up. And they used to call him the Czar, the telestrator.
That's always fun when they would always do
That's
that.
VG.
Hey, speaking of coaches, Bickerstaff got fired by the Cavs.
Yeah, I saw that.
What do you think about the number 0? Bryce Huff, did you know he's wearing 0? You like
No.
your edge rusher wearing 0?
I'm more of a high nines guy.
Check out, I busted out the Pega's numerology book and did a little check-in. So if you keep seeing zeros, don't change a thing. This figure is linked to being on the right track and approaching your most fabulous self.
Oh, dude, I love this.
Right?
Okay.
I'm all about Huff with the 0.
I love that.
Yeah? I figured you'd dig it.
That's
Fabulous
good.
self.
Dude, I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
You got to find what 13 means. It's my favorite number.
13 is your favorite number?
Yeah.
You like the Addams Family?
I have.
Yesterday was your day.
Yeah, don't Italians
Yesterday
love
was
13?
National Goth Day.
Oh my
All the
God.
13 lovers were out yesterday.
Oh,
dressed in
really?
black, yeah.
Well, it's a big deal. 13.
Yeah, it's bad luck. Goth, like a gothic.
No, I know.
Oh,
I know what it is.
Yeah, it's bad luck. So
Yeah,
they
like
love it.
Friday
Oh,
the
really?
13th, you know,
Yeah.
like
Well, I
man,
know,
Like the Munsters, they live at
I think you're right.
1313
I think you're
Mockingbird
right.
Lane.
Like I think Italy
love the 13.
celebrates 13.
Yeah.
But there's no 13
Floor.
floor and an elevator.
Mm-hmm.
I love 13. I have Moss wearing 13.
Does he?
Yeah.
It's my birthday.
Oh, yeah?
March 13th.
Oh, yeah. Are you really?
Yeah.
I'm February 13th.
There you go.
All right.
A month
I
apart.
knew it, brother.
I'm the 14th. One cooler than you guys.
That's
The
good.
Orioles got swept yesterday.
Wow.
And it made history. Did you guys know this?
No.
Wow.
It's the second longest streak of going without getting swept. They did 106 series.
Wow.
And this is basically, I forget the dude's name, their catcher, when he came up. This started when they brought that Rauschman.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
brought
yeah,
him
yeah.
up. But yeah, they went 106 series without getting swept. Yesterday they got swept.
Wow. Cardinals?
1942
I don't know who beat
Cardinals.
Yeah. I think it was the Cardinals.
yeah, I think you're
1903
right.
Giants. Oof.
Yeah, that Rauschman.
Yeah.
Rauschman, I always forget how
Me
to
too.
pronounce it. He's
Think
a
you're right.
stud.
Yes, he is.
He's a stud.
Phillies and Braves, common opponents. Everyone's talking about strength of schedule, but how about common opponents?
Oh, dude.
This is a couple days old, so it's updated. The Phillies are 13-2, and the Braves are 12-9 against common
Wow.
opponents.
Okay.
So yeah, screw
All right.
that strength of schedule. And you know, there's
I
been a
don't-
lot
I
of talk. The Phillies have knocked a lot of these teams under 500, like the Padres and the Rangers. So when they play them,
Dude, I for the life of me, strength of schedule was never a thing in baseball. It's not meant to be a thing in baseball because you play every day.
and you just see the Cardinals swept the Orioles.
Exactly.
Orioles are a far better team.
Right. Like it's attrition. It's a battle of attrition. It's supposed to be over the long haul. You're not supposed to break down schedule like, oh my God, they're not good because of schedule. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Football's different because football, you could talk about who you play, and that does matter into how good you are.
It's a bunch of sourpuss Braves fans that are butthurt because we beat them in the last 2 years in the playoffs. And listen. This whole thing about schedules, the Phillies don't beat anybody. This is exactly the same exact team as last year, minus like Kimbrel. And we beat teams last year. So this whole argument about they've never played teams, they don't beat teams, it's the same exact team as last year, and they beat the Braves in the playoffs. That stopped the argument. They've beaten teams. They've beaten good teams.
Fired up Frazier. I like it.
I do too. Except, did you notice what he said?
No.
He's a wee guy.
Oh, well, it happens.
Yeah.
What, you don't like the Wii?
Come on, guys.
No, you're not
No,
supposed to be
JP's a
wee.
big wee guy.
I know he is.
It's my
No, you're not supposed to be a wee.
What do you mean
Do
not a
you
Wii?
play? Do you play
What does that mean?
shortstop?
I'm a fan. You invest your time into it. I think a collective we. We are a team. We are a city.
Not a we.
we.
No, you're not part of the team. You might root for the Phillies. You're not a we.
What do you mean? I'm talking to Topper every night, cuz.
Yeah, you're not like the we thing. I used to get on the bro for the we thing. The we us
Might be a
is
young
a
generation.
violation, is it not?
It is.
It is.
Really? That's
But
a
we had a
violation.
moment. I was really happy. We were building Frazier up. He was coming out fired up fighting,
No,
and you
I
just
think-
cut him down.
Well-
just cut him down.
Yeah, like come on, man.
Listen, I gotta be. Listen, it's not my job to just pat you on the head every day.
I get it.
I got to keep it real with
Is
you.
this a generational thing then?
No, it's not a generational
Because you
thing.
said the bro says it.
No, I had to get on the bro for doing
The
that.
bro's just goofy.
But, and the bro's well older than you, dude. You gotta
Is he
understand-
technically still a millennial?
No.
I thought it was.
You know who else hopping on this schedule is John Heyman tweeted out last night. Wow, Phillies look good. Wow, they haven't played
Oh,
this schedule.
Heyman too.
Yeah, John Heyman jumping on it.
Punk ass!
Yep.
I'm telling you,
I
cuz.
know. I work with John.
Oh, we should get him on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get John on.
Newsday.
Yes.
He was at Newsday. John's not exactly. John is a baseball guy through and through, right? Like he's not spinning nickels on his forehead, entertaining you. He's not giving you a wee either. Like that, in like when you're a media person, and you have to know this, like you can't go wee.
I get that.
You can't go. You know, like it's different here. Like you got the thing.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. Like you wear, but when you go cover a game, like you can't be dressed like that.
No. When I'm going to Jim's pressers, I'm
now
not
you got him
going.
dressing like that. He's saying weed, and now you got him dressing like this to go cover.
No, I said you can't go.
Yeah, I know. Now you're attacking his outfit. What he's wearing.
You can't walk in and cover
Yeah,
a
of
game
course.
Yeah, I
wearing the uniform.
That's understandable.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
you guys know I'm going on the union
I'm
press
just trying to
conference
help
every
him
week.
out.
I feel you. I mean,
I gotta lead the
one thing
kids.
at a time, though. We could get the we under control, then we'll work on his outfit for these.
No, listen, for the
Game
show, I
coverage.
love it.
Yes.
I love it. I think it's more than appropriate for the show.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm not going to Jim's press conference and saying, "Hey, Jim, we
Yeah,
got
like I was going to say, like you wear
your union jersey or
the
your
bimbo,
kit.
the bimbo jersey.
I'm not wearing my union jersey to the press
Yeah.
conferences."
Uncle Frank is burning me for the Wii. He's saying, you don't wear the pinstripes. Get out of here.
Right. Listen, it's all good. Like we know where your heart is.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Nike's got some new Philly dunks. Anybody
Dude.
see these?
Dude, I love them.
What's cooler is they made one for the Fanatic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's go.
that's awesome.
So they're Kelly Green. The laces have like the geolocation of Philadelphia on them.
Oh, that's
But those Fanatic ones
Dude,
are
I love
sweet.
those. I love those. I think they're so cool. I love them. That actually would get me to go buy it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The Fanatic wearing it or you just dig it?
No, I like the Philly thing. I think it's cool.
Strong dunks.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
those.
I'm in on that.
There's some question about whether a PHLY guy caught a foul ball last night or a home run.
Oh my
Sosa's
God.
home run. People saying Bill Matz caught this ball in Philly Connect jersey last
Just
night.
like a
Clarify.
Oh my God!
Looks like
it's
Billy.
Bill. It's Billy.
No, we know it's not Bill because Bill would not wear that jersey. I know
Well,
he
I
does
was
not
thinking
like that
maybe
jersey.
Ava's saying it's not him because he's in that jersey and she doesn't want to be associated with him in that
No, it
jersey.
looks just like Bill.
I didn't
Where
know
was
that
Bill
back.
last night?
That's a good
Where was
question.
He's
Billy?
a little old to bring a glove to the game too, isn't he?
Yeah, that's a
That's a
violation.
violation.
That's a
I
violation.
agree.
Violation for
You
sure.
can't bring a glove to the game. 13 years old is the cutoff.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure what the call was.
I
but-
mean, it could be a debatable cutoff, but that guy's
Maybe-
clearly in his 20s.
Maybe
At least.
I'll go with 16.
okay.
That's
All right.
it. 16.
16.
Done.
I'm not bringing the glove.
After 16, they do the 17 and under thing. You're right. Like 17 and over, no glove.
Yeah.
No nachos either. You can't use the nachos.
Oh, yeah. A lady lost a bucket full of nachos the other night.
Yeah.
She literally was using the bowl, like trying
Yeah.
to catch the ball with the nachos.
One more one that made me laugh. Some people are saying they have the solution to the Knicks' problems. And they're tweeting out a nice little picture of the Knicks missing piece.
Yes.
Oh my God,
100%.
that's
'em.
awesome. Oh, I love it.
We'll take OG, you take Toby. Love it.
Fair trade. Fair trade.
Well,
That's
free
awesome.
agents, both of them.
Yeah, nothing would make me happier.
Tobias to the Knicks.
Looks good.
Yeah.
For the Knicks.
Dude, that Luka, did you see that shot he made?
No. Last night was
Yeah.
it? No.
Oh, my
I was
God.
locked in on hockey last night.
I was
Oh,
watching.
you
that
were
too.
high. You're a Rangers fan.
Ah, they got smashed.
I know.
Panthers,
It was
let's
like they didn't even know it was a contact sport. The Panthers
beat
came
Boston,
out
now they're
and
beating New York.
annihilated them.
Let's go. We're going to South Beach for the parade.
Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky is 5-0 in conference finals.
I worry about him.
Why?
He's a little too You get swayed a little bit.
Was he
We're going to the South Beach for the parade. My Panthers.
He likes the
Let's go.
party.
It's Pavel Bure, baby.
It's South Beach.
My Panthers.
Yeah, my Panthers.
We beat up the
Panthers,
Rangers
cuz.
last night.
Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do here? I got to work on you. All right.
I mean, I
got to work on you.
I have a hard time rooting for the Panthers because they are like
hate
a
the
foe.
Panthers.
But to see
No,
the
not as
any-
much as the Rangers.
Listen, you're beating Boston, you beat New York, you're in my good graces.
No,
I'm
I'm
good with
with you,
that.
but you're a little overboard. You know what I mean? They're not your friend. You know what I mean?
For right now, they are. Next year's a different story.
They're not your
Miami
friend.
Vice guy over here.
Yeah, that's,
Dude, I hate Miami.
That's his
I
heritage.
hate Miami. In all seriousness, I hate Miami.
Do you?
I do. I just like eating there because you have like every country there. But
of
like,
course,
I just hate being in Miami. It's not Miami. Miami.
Miami.
Miami.
All right.
But the Russian, he's 5-0 in Eastern Conference Finals or Conference Finals games. Bobrovsky is a goaltender.
Where's the final last night?
3-0.
Yeah.
Shutout. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
there was an
saw
empty
1-0.
netter, though. But
1-0.
yeah.
There was an
And-
own goal, but they just got pummeled. They really looked like they didn't know it was a contact sport.
Dude,
the Panthers
Florida
came
does
out and just
everything,
laid
man.
into them.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
Mark Messier was going
Yeah.
nuts. He's like, they're just sitting
So
around
it's
waiting for the
interesting.
power play.
Do you? And it's funny because you're a playoff hockey over playoff NBA guy, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. How about you?
I agree. I think the Stanley Cup playoffs is a much more entertaining product, but obviously NBA playoffs it's been pretty good this year too. The NBA
Yeah,
playoffs,
yeah.
But it's just like the hits are harder, like all the
No,
star
I
talent.
get it. Listen, and it's funny because I feel guilty because I love playoff hockey too,
It's good.
but I don't miss a NBA playoff game.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
that's what
a
I
day.
told you. I got UTTV, so I had both games on the same screen.
Oh, yeah.
So I was looking back and forth.
That's
Oh.
good. And I'm into the West.
The
Western Conference basketball?
Yeah, I like both those. Listen, I love
That's good.
Luka and I love Anthony Edwards.
It's back and forth.
I'm in Western Conference hockey.
Yeah. I get. There's something about if it's not our conference, I can embrace
Yeah,
it more.
yeah, you're
For sure.
Oilers.
Yeah, that's right.
Tough series coming
All
up.
right, real quick, best and worst of the evening. Let us begin with the best, JP.
All right, so listen, we're working on the video portion of this segment here. So I'm giving you my plan C here. All right, so this morning we got announced here the 2022 John Wanamaker Philadelphia Athlete of the Year. Andre Blake is back. Now this is a big deal because a couple of weeks ago he did put out an Instagram story that was very cryptic on whether or not it was about the Union or about Jamaica. It doesn't matter because he gets the extension here today. So you lock up one of the best, if not the best, Union player of all time. He's staying in Philadelphia, which is super dope to see.
He's the best Union player of all time.
I would say.
Yeah.
I would definitely say. I mean, he's been one of the best goalkeepers in the league since he's been in the league, and he deserves more trophies. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to give him, either us or Jamaica has been able to give him anything. But I mean, you put him with some of the best. He's realistically should be playing in England, top tier championship
Really?
side, lower tier Premier League
definitely.
side.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah, he's,
So why
he's that
isn't he?
good.
A long time there was a weird rule that your nation, like the country you represent, you have to be in the FIFA like top 150, and Jamaica was not. So that hindered his transfer earlier on. And then now I think a lot of teams are maybe skeptical with the age, but he's super talented. You talk to some of the best soccer minds, I'll tell you, he's a really good goalkeeper, and he's ours.
Yeah, we're lucky to have him.
All right, we're lucky.
No, we're lucky.
The city.
Bust the ball, stop.
I know.
UT.
I'm going out of our normal wheelhouse. This is kind of a violation in most instances because I'm not a private, personalized custom jersey guy. This one I liked. There was a couple walking around the concourse. This picture's going around, and they had like matching jerseys, and it said they've been together since like 1974. The guy wears 19. The woman's got 74. He says together. She says since. Super sweet.
This is going to be
That's
Julia.
beautiful.
Right?
Actually, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Julia's
that's
crying. Jules. Jules is crying. Listen, that's beautiful. Actually, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love that. Yeah. I agree. I think that's awesome.
That's awesome.
It would have been
Great
great if they had a picture of him like glancing, checking out a chick as she walked by. That would have been epic.
Man, like that meme? Like the meme?
Yeah. Yeah, really. All right, your worst.
All right, cuz listen, flying these days it can be hell, right?
Yes.
Like, you hear the Boeing stories, Frontiers, not allowing you on the flight if the bag can't fit their little thing.
Don't say nothing about Bowie, man. We're gonna find you somewhere.
Might get off.
Some weird bacterial infection.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can put the tweet up, but this video is going viral. So this is a gentleman on a Delta flight. Now this makes you think twice about checking in bags because the workers are literally they're throwing it on the ground. What if you have something fragile and they don't even care. They're just throwing it on the concrete ground.
Well, I will tell you now.
Oh, you used to load bags, didn't you?
I will tell you.
How many did you throw on the ground and dance on them?
You used to do this job?
Yes.
Really? What haven't you done?
Yeah, when I was in college,
Anything
I
that's
worked,
got connections in South Philly, like airport jobs, the arena jobs, Ant's done them.
so I worked as a ramp guy, ops.
Okay.
They call it, and for Midway Airlines. And it was, we all got it. Like my cousin, Vinny.
Oh, my God.
Everybody come in.
Everybody got them, right? So I wound up getting, so I would load the bags. My cousin was up, nice, had the suit, right? Like, inside, check you in. I was like in the rack, right? In the bottom of the baggage belt. And I would load the bags out of the belly of the aircraft. And, did I throw them? Maybe.
On the concrete ground?
And like you would always like try to like, oh, this is heavy, right? Like it's really heavy. And you're just looking and just rack it. Like,
Oh man! So if it's like overweight or bag marking, that's like incentive to try and toss it, heave it.
yeah. Because like it's like, okay, how far can you throw it? It's
like a game.
You might have had games with that stuff. Like if I gave you the underground truth of the baggage.
Don't you have a Mo Cheek story?
Cuz what? You have a Mo Cheek story with this?
Yes.
Oh, no.
So I was working, and I saw Maurice. I saw Sixers bag. I was like, "Wow, whose bag is this?" Right? And it said Maurice Cheeks, and I was like, "Wow, Mo Cheeks." And just so happened, one of his shirts fell out of his bag.
Just so happens the bag was open and the shirt fell out.
It was his Sixers polo that fell out of his bag. Can you believe that?
No.
I was like,
no.
what a stroke of luck.
Yeah.
Fell
Looking
off the
around,
truck,
making
fell
sure.
out of his bag, whatever.
Landed in his car.
Years later, I told him the story. It's like, that was my favorite shirt. It was Sixers issued. Yeah, anyway.
Rick Sachs, come on, relax in the comments. He's like, what's next? Wings talk because we talked about a soccer goalie.
Yeah,
Come
Rick
on,
hates soccer.
come on,
Anytime
Rick.
we
It's
talk
a
about it.
2022 John Wanamaker
Come on, Rick.
Athlete of the Year.
Rick, it's the biggest sport in the world, man. Sorry.
All right. It's a big sport. I love it. I like it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's kind of. But he got right away. He got Mr. Everton gets his back.
Liverpool.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My worst is the rain this morning. I got stuck in it. Of course, I don't have an umbrella because I'm not Gene Kelly dancing in the rain, singing with one. And I had wet pants, and wet pants stink. There's nothing ruins a day.
Well, you know what's worse than wet pants?
Wet feet.
Wet socks.
Yeah, wet socks.
Yeah,
terrible.
wet socks, no good.
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
So
No good on that.
I tried to wait it out, but it just kept coming this morning. So.
Anything else in the comments?
Oh yeah, we had some comments today.
Hey, Rick.
Other than Rick, Chris Snyder, this team is unbelievable. RKF, firing Girardi may have been the best, Dombrowski's best move, and Cash Per said firing Girardi has definitely been Dombrowski's best move. Big Mike liked LA's branded shirt he was wearing and hat.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it was
there was
cool.
some love for the hat and the shirt. Good fun.
Yeah.
Sean Spellman says LA is greater than Chuck Norris. And I wanted to use this one to see if Fraser and JP get the reference. James Galenti, LA beers on me at the Regal Beagle. Regal Beagle? Wow, it's lost. It was the bar in Three's Company. The old sitcom from the 70s, but they still make shirts. I see shirts all the time with Regal Beagle on it. Yeah. It's like a cool bar back in 70s television.
Never watched Three's Company.
Yeah, you didn't miss much.
Yeah. Suzanne Summers. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh man.
All right, that's going to do it for the program. Dude, that was fun.
That was.
Clubhouse
Good stuff,
is
boys.
fun sometimes.
Yes, it is. We like it. Everybody, tomorrow, the Shore Show. All right? So be ready to call in tomorrow. How do you call in?
So first off,
610. No.
first off, guys, you got to be a diehard. And listen, I told you earlier, you got so much great stuff with being a diehard. But more importantly, you get access
Can you
to
just
Discord.
tell Andrew on the chat?
Yeah. So just flag Andrew in the Gargano beat on Discord. Once you'll see it. Once you get into Discord, you'll see the Gargano beat chat. Just tag Andrew.
Let's talk Shore tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tag Andrew.
Call.
Right.
You'll get the instructions. Call in. And
Ask
we'll
Uncle
talk some
Frank,
Jersey
he knows.
Shore.
Yeah, my handle's my name on Discord. So if you're looking
Andrew
to contact
Frazier.
me, just hit me up there.
Frazier.
And we'll get you on. At any
Man in the
time
box.
throughout the show, just hit me up and I'll get you on here.
All right.
We'll talk some soccer.
We'll talk soccer.
Tomorrow's Shore Show. We're going to have a lot of fun with the Shore. Best Shore towns, Shore treats.
Can't wait, cuz.
The whole thing.
Love the Jersey Shore.
If I get it together, maybe I'll make Mai Tais.
Oh,
I got to get to the
Yeah,
store. I got to go to
man.
the liquor store and get some rum, but we'll see.
Dude, I'm down for that.
hell yeah.
Maybe. Just maybe.
I like it. I like
All right,
it.
VJ.
We're going to bring in Memorial Day weekend with a bang. I love it.
Love it.
All right. Thanks for hanging, everybody. We love you. All right. Have a great night. Go Phils. See you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.